Sup guys, Skinner here. I'm gonna have a beer while I explain how to craft the minion axe that we want for champion dominating blow. So this is increases some reductions to minion damage also affect dominating blow at 1.5 times their value. What this is effectively is a 50% more multiplier to your dominating blow and the minions that it summons. Now, this is really fucking strong. The reason why we want a really high fizz weapon and that mod is the interaction of Divergent Rallying Cry. Divergent Rallying Cry in a replica Void Eye has 50 quality and thus says buff has 200% more effect on your minions. Combined with the fact that we have some increased Warcry buff effect on the tree, we have 84% of our weapons damage added to our minions as flat damage. If you have a GG weapon, that could be 25 to 30 T1 flat added fizz rolls on Ghastly Eye jewels worth of flat added damage. This is extremely powerful. Now, also having a crucible mod that can percent increase the minion scaling portion. Now we're talking about a lot of damage. I'm going to detail how to do the budget craft, which is how I made this for my league starter, and how to do the GG endgame craft, which I will be having later. Alright, so let's crack into it. We are going to use Deafening Essences of Contempt for the low budget version. I farmed all my own ones because I was Essence and Beast farming, but you can buy them. And if you want to buy them, they're currently about 6 each. You could bulk buy from any of these people. That's cool. So how do we find the base? So we do the tilde trick, which lets you not be precise on the words. It should type in crucible and start typing dominating blow, and it just automatically fills out. We want this to be item level 83. And we don't want it corrupted. We don't want it mirrored, right? And we search. So we'll see one here that has the node, and it's 5C. Cool. Maybe we should buy the solar maul. Here's the first check we do. So you'll see I have two-handed maces, axes, and staves up here. We pull up those. We only want to craft this on the high tier bases. You'll notice here I have to scroll up to find solar maul. It does not have good damage. The high tier version would be the coronal maul. So we skip past this one. We see that there's 3 despot axes, and you might have noticed I crafted on a despot axe. So you'll notice here, if we right near the bottom, despot axe, right here, very good base, right? If we scroll a little further, there's a maelstrom staff. We go to the staves, we see, all right, maelstrom staff. Right near the bottom. It does a little less damage than some other two-handed weapon things, but you do get a 25% chance to block, making it really strong. And then there's a Karui chopper, which I really want to highlight this Karui chopper. Someone should buy this right away. I'm not going to. I already have my axe crafted, and I'll leave this to you guys. But you'll notice if you look at the average hit damage, the Karui chopper has the highest of all weapons. This is actually the best base for this craft. Alright, so, but let's say there's a lot of despot axes. You get a despot axe, right? You watch this video, crew chopper's gone, you get a despot axe. I have a despot axe, good weapon. Alright, how often are you going to be able to slam your Deafening Essence of Contempt and get a usable base? Right? And what do I mean by that? Because there's a few things that we need 100%. We need an open prefix. Now, mine, I rolled an attack speed and 2 open prefixes. I crafted my Exalt my Exalt craft for percent fizz, and then I Warlord slammed it hoping for the hybrid fizz with attack speed, because, you know, league start, if I hit that, I'd be done. But you don't need the attack speed. Again, this is scaling off of the flat damage. So we just need an open prefix And all right, so we see this one, still no open prefix. We do our third attempt. All right, this has attack speed and an open prefix. The fire damage is a dead mod. Oh well. Then we go and we benchcraft for 1 exalt, the percent increased fizz, and then we have 287 to 448 fizz. And this is now a usable weapon. It has the crucible mod, and what, we spent like 5 essences. On average, you will hit this like an open prefix, any open prefix, in 5 essences. Now, ideally, you don't have fire damage and you hit a hybrid fizz. If you do that, you are God. You're super lucky. If you hit T3 or above, awesome. In fact, if you hit T3 or above on the hybrid fizz roll and have like a fire damage roll, it is worth annulling and then doing it, because you're not gonna, you'd have your GG weapon already. You'd be done. Okay. So that's how to do the budget craft. It is going to, in total, cost you less than 100 C, maybe 50, maybe 80. It really depends on how many deafening essences of contempt you go through and the exalt price at the time, but they're like, 10 to 15 C or something. And each deafening essence of contempt is 6 C, right? You can see the price here. And we can see these bases. That's the next step. I'll get to that in a bit. And you can see ones that are 5, 10, 10, 15, 20, 20. So we'll say you spent like 20 C and then another like 5 attempts with contempts. That's 50 C. And you exalt crafted and that was 15. So maybe you spent like 65, 70, 75 C, something like that. And you have a really good axe that is adding a ton of damage to your minions. I mean, I'm at low budget, I'm doing like 4 to 8 mil. Right, they drop the half health. I'm doing 8 mil damage with my dominating blow minions as a champion. I'm having tons of fun with this tier of Axecraft. So, the GG endgame version. What are we looking for? This is when you're willing to spend 5 divines. Okay, when you're willing to spend 5 divines, this means that we're going to buy an already finished base. So how are we going to look for those already finished bases so that we can then melt on the crucible tree to the already finished weapon, right? Which we're not going to bother doing unless it's already like a really good weapon, okay? It is much easier and cheaper to just craft an available base than it is to actually gamble crucible melting onto something that's already really good, because the likelihood is you're going to spend more on finding the bases and melting them because it's a T5 node and they just don't like to fucking melt on. So, what am I going to be doing in like a week from now? Because I'm already level 97 and have my starter axe, which is great. Well, I want a two-handed melee weapon. It needs to be any non-unique. I want at least 600 PDPS. I'm not even going to, I don't want to show up on the filter. Can't be corrupted, can't be mirrored. And I'm just going to say I'm willing to spend 5 divines. You make the search, and you're going to see something that has a really high fizz DPS or really low. Now, if you search by fizz DPS, you're going to see something that has a really high attack speed. We don't care about the fizz DPS. We only care about the fizz hit. So you actually want to sort by the fizz hit portion up here. Now we'll see, all right, there's a Vol Axe for 4.5 divines. This already is 30 qualityed. This had T1, T1, hybrid, and percent. They actually unveiled. That's fucking sick. And they had flaring. There's no attack speed, so its DPS is only 760. But its actual percent and flat damage is perfect. This is what we are looking for. So if you had 5 divines, you'd buy this. And then you would go look right back at this same search for an axe. Maybe there's a lower tier axe than like a despot axe or something, right? And then we're going to be melting down one of these using the forge. They're currently like 10 C. Maybe they go up in price. Maybe they're 15 C. Maybe they're 20 C in the future. Maybe you have to spend 20 C on a base. So we're just going to assume that we're going to spend, on average, 30C per attempt at the forge of melting down one of these to get the mod we want, the T5 mod we want, onto our absolute GG weapon, right? So this is where it's going to go. This is where we want it to end. And so, yeah. So that is the method. That is how you're going to do the budget axe or staff or maul. Doesn't matter. It's a two-handed weapon. You just want good fizz, and you want the mod on it. And where we're going to upgrade to, which is the GG, where we're going to melt onto an already existing super good weapon. All right. I'm Skinner. Enjoy. Have fun.